My name is Thomas Holland. I'm head of studio of Rodeo FX Munich and a VFX supervisor.
So, what are your thoughts about this conference here in Turin, Italy?
Well, the first thing is like the lineup is literally insane. The venue is great. And then I just woke around the city this morning. What a beautiful city. So really, really great spots.
So there's a lot of young college, high school kids that come and get to hear talks from people like yourself. What role do you see them playing in the future of visual effects?
Well, we're always looking for talent. So the sooner they're inspired by a lot of people, the better it is. And then if they're already eager at a young age, I can only imagine what they're going to do later.
When it comes to Italy, you guys have a studio, and you said Munich. Can you talk about the global nature of this business today?
In terms of?
Just not studios, talent, people coming from all over the world to now make movie magic.
Well, I think there's no such concept as like a frontier, except ultimately one thing which is called a visa. But apart from that, there is nothing. In our studio in Munich, when we were like 20 people, we had like 13 different nationalities. So everyone is coming from all over this place, and especially in Europe, you can have like literally people from Spain, Italy, Germany, France, England, Sweden, and then everybody's going to come together and work. And if only this could be the same in other domain.
When it comes to your specific talk, give us a sense of the goals, the knowledge you're going to pass on to the attendees.
So today, basically, I'm speaking about the work that Rodeo did on Game of Thrones, and then I was at the time on this project the FX supervisor, so just working on like simulation type of work. But basically, we're going to be covering more of like the global way of how we handle the show. So from literally the initial phone call of a client to the final image. So all the process was like storyboard, previs, concept, the back and forth, and then basically showing people how we went from a concept to research and development to like the final shots.
How have you seen, even just over the course of time that you worked on Game of Thrones, things pushed forward when it comes to the type of visual and special effects that they've incorporated into the show?
So short answer, more. So those guys are keep on pushing all the time, and then the quality that they achieve as of right now, it's like I think it's a standard in terms of like TV shows, and then even for movies. Ultimately, it's like the quality that those guys are bringing on the screen is sick, and they're always gonna try to push you more, but they also have the right approach. So it's like a lot of practical, really well thought shoots, and then we combine VFX onto that, which is basically the perfect combo. Shoot everything you can, and then add the rest in post.
Can you give us a sense of how much work goes into something? Like, for example, the dragons or one of the epic fight sequences from a visual?
That we didn't do, but like let's say the wall, for example.
Wow.
Well, the wall, it started like it was almost like a 6 months process from the initial idea, then all the research and development we would do, because you're used to seeing like just building collapsing, maybe a skyscraper collapsing, but not a 300-meter wall along 1 kilometer. So that's a whole new level. So it was like really a lot of research and development on how we're going to do that, and then how we're going to be able to fit that into a TV show schedule.
When it comes to Game of Thrones, what do you think it is about this show that has become such a global phenomenon?
Well, you just get addicted. This is like, I don't know, you start it, and then you get attached to the characters, and then ultimately VFX are serving the right purpose as they're helping the story, and they're not making the story. And therefore you get attached to the characters, and then obviously there is all those great VFX around, but you just get attached to those guys. There is some you want to see them dying, but they don't die, and the one you don't want to see die, they die, and then therefore you can't wait for the next episode.
When it comes to the scale at which you guys have been working with on Game of Thrones, can you compare it to maybe movies in the past? Because it seems like there's a lot of work that's going into a television show that you wouldn't have had even 5 years ago.
Oh no, they really set the standard. Before you could never imagine, and still now when we got like the first thing, we're always like, wow, this for a TV show. But ultimately you realize that Game of Thrones is playing in a whole new league. It's not the average TV show. It's like the next step TV show.
When it comes to when this work came over to your studio, what was the initial reaction like that you were going to be part of this show?
Well, at the beginning, it started on like more like environment and digital night painting and comp, and then slowly like we ramp up with them as the TV show was starting to get bigger and bigger in terms of VFX. We follow with them, and yeah, every new season it was like, damn, that's what is coming. Great, tons of challenge.
And people obviously are looking forward to the final season, but given all that we saw in season 7 and the trajectory as visual effects, what are you anticipating from a visual effects standpoint?
Well, if they continue doing the same as what they did from all the previous season, you can only expect more, I guess.
And when it comes to your own background, can you talk about some of the projects before Game of Thrones and how that helped you guys with this project?
Well, I mean, we kind of evolved with them, and then like the studio was growing, like then we would be able to tackle more onto Game of Thrones, but obviously we were also doing more and more onto other projects. So like everything was like leveling up at the kind of like the same time. So because we would do more into one thing, then Game of Thrones would say like, okay, we can give more to those guys, and then that's kind of like the whole process how it went.
When it comes to visual effects, we're seeing a push now, especially on the theatrical side, to real time. Is that yet hitting the television side of things, real-time effects?
No.
Is that something you guys have even explored?
Well, we were playing with real-time technology, especially into the preservation parts. We would do some stuff in real time, but ultimately, clients always want to have more. And what you could do like 5 years ago, you can maybe now do it in real time, but as of today, you cannot do it in real time.
So when you guys were doing the previs, were you using Unreal Engine 4 or any of those types of technologies for real time?
Yeah, we were leveraging like game technology for preservation work.
And has that become a standard type of thing now in when you guys are working on projects?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, most of the time on the project, we do receive a previs from like companies such as the Third Floor. But then sometimes we're also providing the previs service. And then therefore, we do leverage game technology for that.